Should you buy this SerenAir airbrush compressor set? Is this a complete setup to finally get into airbrushing and paint more minis and even your first army? Airbrushing is the most time-efficient way to prime and paint base colors. Airbrushes are so accessible these days. The hardest part is getting a reliable air compressor. Since we are an actual studio, not just by name, meaning there are days that we have to airbrush at the same time, and we airbrush for long hours. We have a monster air compressor. We broke a couple of smaller piston-type compressors already, and the small and cheap diaphragm types are usually crap. Our monster compressor is mighty reliable, but it is as noisy as frack. The small piston-type hobby compressors with dedicated air tanks that are silent costs a bit of money that I do not have. Besides, our monster compressor is 6 years old and is still working. I have to work on a couple of Kickstarter projects in the coming months, so I need to paint late at night. So, I bought this SerenAir diaphragm type compressor from Gaahleri.ph.com out of necessity. Anyway, join me as we unbox and do a quick test of this SerenAir compressor from Gaahleri. Also, watch until the end of the video as we discuss a design flaw and if this is truly a complete setup to finally start airbrushing your pile of plastics. I'm Don, welcome to my channel. This channel is supported by all these awesome brands. Also, special thanks to The Army Painter for making this video possible. Oh, by the way, don't forget my affiliate links and discount codes down below. They won't cost you extra, but they help the channel a lot, and you'll get some good discounts. Lastly, do check out spraygunner.com. They've got everything you need for painting from top-of-the-line airbrushes to high-quality paint brands. Now the business is out of the way, let's paint. I bought this at Gaahleri.ph.com. I saw it in their post on Facebook and immediately bought one. This SerenAir airbrush compressor is just 5,900 pesos, just a little over $100 US. So, since this is from Gaahleri, this should be great value for money. I found the box and the compressor itself bigger than I expected. Bigger is always better. I have bought a few diaphragm-type compressors way back. They were overpriced 20 years ago, and the smaller ones of the past few years are simply crap. My apologies, as I think I have endorsed a crappy small diaphragm-type compressor when this channel was still new. Anyway, you can see in the video that you get everything you need, well, almost everything, to start airbrushing. You get the actual compressor, a couple of airbrush holders, a hose, and, to my surprise, a Gaahleri airbrush. Obviously, I did not watch any reviews, nor did I even check Gaaheri's website before buying this SerenAir compressor. I just trusted that this compressor would work for me. There are a couple of design flaws, in my opinion, and you need to buy an extra thing that is not included in the box before you airbrush. No, I am not talking about getting a better airbrush than the one included in this set. You need to buy something to make your airbrushing disaster-free, which I will explain later in the video. If you're getting value out of this video, do give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Small diaphragm-type compressors overheat if you use them for longer hours. Heck, the old Japanese-made starter compressor that I bought overheated on me after just 1 hour of use. I think that was $100 20 friggin' years ago. And I was seriously poorer back then. I also had a couple of the small makeup air compressors. Those are not good. If they do not overheat on you, the air is just not constant or strong enough. You need to dilute your paints well to make them work due to the weak pressure. Now, we also had a couple of small piston-type air compressors. Piston-type compressors have nice, steady, and constant air. But as mentioned in the intro, we are an actual studio, and we sometimes airbrush a lot. Thus, both small compressors overheated and eventually died on us, too. These are the reasons why we eventually got the noisy monster compressor. We have been using this monstrosity for around 6 years now. I cannot recommend it though. If your family won't kill you, your neighbors will. It is a very loud monster. So I tested this SerenAir by Gaahleri for 8 hours straight. I normally airbrush for only 2 to 4 hours. My daughter Nico, a Gunpla modeler, airbrushes for longer hours. And it did not overheat at all. The air starts and stops as you pull the trigger of the airbrush. The compressor also rests as you change colors or while cleaning your airbrush. Pressing buttons to change the air pressure was fun, so easy. I highly recommend this SerenAir compressor to any hobbyist or weekend painter, but as mentioned earlier, there is a couple of design flaws. And you need to buy something not included in the set before you start to airbrush.
Shameless plug, guys. You could check out our new campaign at Kickstarter at kickstarter.com and of course at suratostudios.com. Now, before my final thoughts, a huge thanks to all my patrons at Patreon.
You need to buy a water trap before you airbrush with this setup. No need to get these fancy water traps from Gaahleri. The ugly, standard plastic water traps will work. The need to install at least one water or moisture trap is not because of this compressor. Moisture or condensation builds up slowly with any type of compressor. You can also get a longer hose. Longer hoses help reduce the buildup of moisture. However, diaphragm-type compressors have weaker air pressure. So, a longer hose might reduce the pressure even more. Getting a water trap is a better option. At least for diaphragm-type compressors, like this one. I installed 2 water traps on mine because I can. But just one water trap should be fine. Not installing a water trap can be a disaster. Without a water trap, the buildup of moisture along the short hose and the airbrush will spit water while you're painting. Imagine a spit of water over wet paint on the surface of your Mini. Disaster, I tell you. So, get a water trap before you use this setup. Now, the design flaws that I was talking about earlier are the layout of the buttons and the position of the airbrush holders, at the very least. The airbrush holders cannot hold or fit 2 airbrushes. Much more airbrushes that have hoses attached to them. The airbrush holders are too close together. Even airbrushes without hoses struggle to fit together. I think placing the airbrush holders on the longer side will be much better. Having the airbrush holders on the longer side of the compressor should fit 2 airbrushes comfortably. Also, you can now place the compressor vertically on your desk to save more space. The easiest solution to this is to add a quick release for ease of changing between airbrushes. I use 2 airbrushes at the very least when painting. One for priming and varnishing, and the main one for base colors and detail painting, or post-shading. So I guess, other than getting a water trap, you need to get a quick release and maybe a dedicated airbrush holder. Now, should you buy this SerenAir from Gaahleri to finally try airbrushing? Yes, but there is a huge but. You need to learn to dilute your paints. Even the paints that are marketed as airbrush-ready paints. Since the maximum air pressure from this compressor is only 27 pounds per square inches. Good enough for general airbrushing, but a tad weak for priming, varnishing, and airbrushing heavier metallic paints.
That's it, Pansit. I hope you like this video. Do comment, like, subscribe, and all that stuff. Until next video, guys. Bye!